Hand clap to the master, guys. We're finally back again for another one on the Mystelics reaction, guys. Big up all the Mystelics YouTube family. You've tuned in to yet another reaction video, and of course the newcomers are there. Big up yourself for tuning into this year reaction video. I just want to say I appreciate you guys for definitely tuning in to another vibrations on this year's Sunday edition Mystelics reaction. Of course, this is where I react to a number of videos taking place in Dominica, the Caribbean, and the rest of the world by extension. So if you want to become a part of the Mystelics family, download the Mystelics YouTube app, guys. Right now, it's no longer subscribing to the channel. You have to download the app to be a part of the Mystelics YouTube family. And of course, definitely subscribe would of course be when you click the subscribe button and you click the bell and you click all, you can pretty much get all the notifications when I drop my videos right there. You will pretty much be notified when I drop my videos right there and then. Guys, we gotta get into that vibrations right there. So like I said before, guys, download the Mystelics Tube app. That will be in the first comment in the comment box below. Now guys, apparently there is some sort of situation that is taking place based on the monkeyness that is going on right there, guys. Some monkey business, guys. Now I'm not a French individual, but apparently from what I'm seeing here, making sense of what I'm seeing, the first case of the monkeyness has pretty much arrived in Martinique as of the 15th of July 2022 right there. So it's getting closer and closer. We heard a situation taking place in St. Lucia, where of course an individual had to be quarantined off, and of course they said that they were doing contact tracing. But of course we also heard another one in Trinidad. We're not exactly sure what happened as a result of that, but down in Martinique it seems like it's getting closer and closer right there. Now in Martinique, apparently this is the case that we're seeing. So I'm guessing that they did a quarantine of the individuals and do some sort of contact tracing as a result of that. But there was some information being stated in Dominica, as we can see right there, and people are questioning the very thing. This was actually on my partner stuff right there. I want you guys to see this person. There's a number of little things going on in that person's hand, and of course people were wondering who is doing the testing for these individuals. Of course, this individual stated, I saw this in Portsmouth today. That was on that date, yesterday I believe it is. I saw, or the day before, whichever it is. I saw this in Portsmouth today coming off the port. Don't know if I'm violating the rights of anyone. You're not. This is a public sphere right there, but I'm concerned this individual is stated, and of course you should be concerned right there. Who is checking these individuals before they enter the general public right there? I know they were talking about, hey, let's be doing testing and this kind of things there for the Rona, but now we have another situation, and of course there's nothing being handled by the Minister of Health, and we don't know what he's doing. What is he doing, guys? Who knows? I don't know for sure. I'm one of the individuals that don't know. I have no clue what they're doing right there, but of course people have been noticing some of these kind of things and wondering if this is some sort of illness, or maybe it's the monkeyness that is going on right there, brothers and sisters. So it's good to be concerned in this regard as a result of this same situation. Who is really checking? They want to tell people go and pay tests, go and pay money for you to go and do tests, and then you have all sorts of things just flying all over the car coming through, and you don't know what is the case, especially when it comes down to this situation. Now guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to blow this thing out of proportion. I think, well, if there's certain things that you're seeing, I mean, you should be able to, you know, handle that. Don't you think so? Because I mean, clearly there's some sort, maybe they did handle that situation right there, tested that individual as a result of, you know, what's on her hand. But that's what an individual noticed, and he's saying, who checking these things? Sometimes we see all kind of people coming here checking. I don't know, sometimes I always get this sentiment that people believe that people coming from overseas, especially of a different color, somehow have no sort of illness or nothing like that. They feel like they had nothing. Brothers and sisters, remember back in the day, this is why history is important. Who wiped out the Indians? The Europeans who came and brought the dirty diseases to the people who were pure, and they wiped out a number of them as a result of the diseases that they brought. So I think we need to be careful when history has told us, you know, that we need to be careful right there. Not anything against these people, but you have to take in mind that, hey, you come in and there's no sort of testing being done, yet still you want to still be doing Rona testing. That don't make no sense at all. But then you have these things that can possibly spread, and then what exactly is being done as a result of that? That's the big question right there. I think that is what the person was asking. Who is checking these people before they enter the general public right there? Maybe they're checking the people they injected. Let them come in. Ted Calbas. Anyways, guys, more importantly, what took place yesterday, I believe it is, an individual, a friend of mine, actually messaged me stating, what are your thoughts on what they launched today at the stadium? That was yesterday. And of course, if you wonder what that is, this is it right there. Future housing program, empowering through ownership, a path of generational wealth. Now it's rather interesting. I saw this thing, and from my understanding, this is something like what they seem to want to be building, and I think that is a good thing right there. But there's a number of queries that we need to ask. But before I get into the video, guys, I must make mention of pretty much a keynote right there. The government of Dominica is launching its future house project. It has launched a different housing project where, you know, giving people house for free. Well, people in need, apparently, quote unquote, people in need. Some individuals who are in need definitely got the houses. I don't know about the other people who are in need. I don't know if they get, but hey, some of them still in the bush. Like that partner that's staying close to the minister there, or the former minister in La Plaine. All right then. Anyways, this initiative is directed towards young people, especially young professionals. It is government's effort to help young professionals own their homes. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's a good thing as well. If you have neither land nor house, but you are a working person, that's for you. If you have land which you can build on, I'm guessing the person put the on before there, which you can build on a house. If you have land and you can build a house, brothers and sisters, that is for you. Therefore, join us at the fair on Saturday. And of course, they had this whole meeting right there, brothers and sisters. But we're going to take a listen to some of it right there, and then I give my viewpoint. You know your boy role already, brothers and sisters.
The urban development, he's the senior minister.
Moving along.
And we welcome this opportunity. I welcome those of you who are here and those tuned in via the various media outlets. This launch and fair will be informative. You can expect to read some theory.
For many of you, you want to create a more prosperous, more hopeful future for your children. You want to build generational wealth, and you want a fair shot at acquiring the means to do so in your own country.
Wouldn't that be trying to enforce the job creation or some sort of mobility upwards for the youth out there so that they can create generational wealth? I mean, owning a house is one thing, and it's understandable that owning a house is some sort of thing we can actually put towards, you know, if you're taking a loan or something, you can then build on that. Then in that essence, yes. But when you're talking about generational wealth from building a house for somebody, I don't think that is generational wealth. No, generational wealth is usually where there's money flowing in, and that can pretty much, you know, if you die or something like that, the generation wealth can then pass on to their children and their children's children and so forth. I mean, I guess they talk about generational wealth as a house. You have a house you can pass on to your children and so forth and so forth. If that is generational wealth, I think we have the wrong idea. Passing on a house is not generational wealth, you know. Passing on a house, especially if you don't know what you're using the house for, can be a liability. Because you're not really making money from it. You're paying stuff on that house. It's not necessarily money is coming to you. So you have to think of it that way. But of course, let's continue.
And so this program is specifically for you. It is for those of you who are ready for your dream home, but have already encountered challenges with accessing financing at reasonable interest rates, or finding safe lands to build on.
Or the economy is actually killing the youth as a result of what you guys are doing to the economy.
Probably you do not qualify for a large mortgage because you do not have the requisite security, or you have not reached the point in your career where your salary matches the scale of your dream home. Don't get me wrong.
I wonder why that is. Isn't that because you guys refuse to raise people's salaries to an adequate amount? On only basis, not even to match inflation. You're giving people $10 to $20 per year. Not per year, probably that is the last that they're going to get. $10 to $20 on their salaries that they got already. So if you're making $1,000, you probably get at the end of the year $12,020. I don't think that, I think, well, then again, it's based on what the economy is producing.
None of this is you.
Guys, before I base everything I say on logic, you know, guys. On logic. Because if they talk about generational wealth and they're not increasing your salaries, yet still the world is changing. I mean, come on. Inflation is going up. A number of things are going up that cannot meet your salary. And then they tell you about generational wealth because they're planning to build a house for you, which you have to go and take a loan for. Regardless if the house was $100,000 and you have to pay the house for $50,000, you still have to get that money as a loan. The big question is, who is giving the loan though? But anyways, I go in beyond. Let's continue.
Unique to Dominica. These challenges are common for middle-income people across the world as economies continue to feel the impacts of the rising cost of living, climate change, pandemics, and disease.
But a lot of this is based off in Dominica, because other places across the world, especially St. Lucia, St. Kitts, these kind of places, that you notice a number of the young professional individuals actually building up themselves. I know I went to St. Lucia, and there was one of the young professionals that I met up with in the media field. And I went there, and every time I went there, the mansion he was staying in. So he was elevating his standings, doing different business and all those kind of things. Now he elevated a bit further now. So, I mean, is the economy conducive for people to become proper young professionals? Another question I asked in one of the groups I was in. Who defines who is a young professional? What exactly does a young professional entail? Because if you look at the people in the bank, if you look at the people in the credit union, if you look at teachers, all these kind of people there, they are feeling the blunt of the economy. Their salaries don't indicate anything that can give a rise, and sometimes they go to school to try to get a better degree so that they can increase their salaries and stuff, and there's a cap. So even if you go to school and you get a higher education in something, it's still meaningless, because we are within the economy that is not conducive for elevation. So you talk about generational wealth and the young professionals. I mean, come on, that's a bit, maybe he's made it wrong. What are your thoughts, guys?
But the government of Dominica recognizes your challenges and has created this avenue to help you establish a solid foundation for your families. And as young people, you understand that building generational wealth, is healthcare as well as opportunity. And so we want to ensure that after we are gone, they have a sustainable inheritance that they can rely on.
You mean they have to pay off the house or the loan that their parents probably would not be able to pay off? It will then fall on the little ones for them to pay. Another thing is, if you're taking a loan for you to get a house, you have to have some sort of security. Now, if the economy is not conducive for you to be able to pay back that house, no matter whatever thing that they put on it, subsidizing, the government subsidizing, whatever, and you cannot pay that back, the security ends up becoming the government's own, you know. You know that? So yes, it's a good initiative. If the economy is doing much better and people's salaries actually match to actually elevate, then that would make more sense. But if you live in the poverty economy that is pretty much majority of the individuals are poor, and you're trying to talk about young professionals who themselves are also struggling within the same economy, I think something is wrong there, don't you think? Anyways, let's continue.
It means they will have more options in life and more freedom from the financial worries which preoccupies our minds.
What the heck does that have to do with building house for people? Wouldn't what you're talking about be elevating the economy? Putting things in position so that the young professionals can actually utilize their skill set to even build it further and further. But that's not what you guys doing. No one only know you guys are going back into agriculture. No one only know you guys going back into agriculture, telling the farmers out there that we're trying to give you money or what, consultation or whatever, and possibly some funds and whatnot to do. Now you guys going into that way, back into that after you guys heard that CBI. Talk about CBI. Doesn't the same situation seem like it's a CBI program? But instead of having outside investors, you have the internal investors. Remember, the outside investors will pretty much invest in business or some kind of thing like that in Dominica. You know, or they give money and in exchange you get a passport or something like that. But now it seems like it's internal. CBI dying outside. Might as well bring it inside. Don't you think it sounds familiar? So they have you investing into houses and consider it some future for what they call it again? Empowering through ownership for generational wealth, because it sounds nice. But how can you have generational wealth without no sort of generating of wealth? You building a house for somebody, they have to pay the loan for. How is that generating wealth? And if the person don't pay back that loan, the person die and the house is there, then obviously they got the debt falls on the little ones, on the future to come. That's not generational wealth, that's generational debt. Guys, let me know your thoughts, man. Maybe it's just me.
As parents, creating that solid foundation for your family requires a growth mindset. And I am confident that the youth of Dominica possesses that growth mindset.
But what does that have to do if you building a house for them? Anyways, let me continue.
Our future depends on our capacity to find and implement creative, strategic responses to manage risks, mitigate threats, and build resilience with our people.
I agree. That's absolutely correct. But usually that's on the basis of the economy, ain't it?
So we started with the most vulnerable, of course, the squatters, single, unemployed mothers, the elderly, those affected by Maria, Erica, the displaced children, physically challenged. We uplifted the housing circumstance to ensure security and provide a fighting chance for their survival.
I'm guessing they're talking about what took place in the past where they build all those houses and stuff and give people, I guess maybe, well, that would make sense if that is the case. But then again, they still cannot say they own the houses for them to pass on to their children. They cannot say, okay, let me take a loan to send my child to school or whatnot so that my child can get a better standing overseas somewhere, just like the Prime Minister's children are able to do.
While this approach continues, we have also decided that this is the time for the future housing program.
By making people pay for a house. And don't get me wrong, you know, guys, I believe that everybody should go and pay for the house. They should work hard and go and build a house. But in an economy that the government has killed, I think the government definitely has a foot to definitely help the people. But when they come in and talk about generational wealth, and it sounds nice, oh my God, build my house, generational, woohoo! But you forget is you'd have to pay the same loan that your economy is not making you available to be able to have the funds for you to do so. True or false? And don't get me wrong, you know, guys, there will be some people who are able to afford it, especially individuals who work in the big trucking industries and those kind of things there. They'll be able to do that. People will be able to get houses and those kind of things there. But if an economy is not doing well in Dominica, how do you expect people to elevate in this regard? You don't expect much. This is one of the reasons why we leave it for the diaspora. The diaspora can then contribute. This is the same CBI vibrations. It's just in a different format. So if the diaspora or people from Dominica living overseas, hey, I want to build my home. Okay, the government say this and that. Okay, let me contribute to the government for this and that. I can get a little loan here and there and then send monies from overseas in a different economy back to Dominica. Then you can actually build your home in Dominica. It makes sense that way. But the big question I must ask is, who is getting that money though? Is that money going back to Dominica, or is there some sort of private individual handling these buildings of these houses? Because these houses will be built not by you, by somebody, and you have to pay them to build your house.
Ladies and gentlemen, the future housing program draws within the government's housing strategy. It shows our intention to reach many of us who have been affected over the years by many ripples and global shocks.
That's good. Including the economy. You guys keep to be missing the economy that you guys created. Why you keep missing the economy, guys? Don't get me wrong, you know, I for it. You get to build a house that's much cheaper and this kind of things. No doubt about it. You get to build a house and the expense is much cheaper for you. I agree. And that's applauded. But on the basis of doing it with the people that you kill in the economy, not taking a lies, you know, you deplete their ability to elevate their financial standing by weakening the economy. I think that is counterproductive to the very thing that you are saying right now. Now, I could be wrong, guys. Let me know. But from my understanding of this thing, this is what I understand. And it's very objective to see.
Based on my interactions with...
And another thing I noticed that they like to bring in and say across the world. But across the world, they are doing pretty much, not everywhere, but a lot of places are doing well. When you look at places like St. Kitts even giving unemployed people money. And on the basis that they're pulling from somewhere, you know, it's based off the economy they're doing so well. The GDP debt is much lower than the profits, so they're making more profits than they have debts. And it would make sense that way. Because some time back, I believe they actually reach a break-even point. So you have St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Barbados, even trying something, bringing a VAT to help the people. Grenada, a number of places, they're elevating. But in Dominica, we have to build house for people and then try to incentivize people to go and take loan for which they don't know how they're going to exactly pay back. No matter how small it is, it's still a loan. I think the loan is about 4%. It'll incentivize the people from overseas to come.
Many of the young people, many of you that are here today in the private sector, within the government service, the advisory group, an arduous road, you have walked the straight and narrow. You have pursued your education. Many of you have benefited from the education revolution.
Yeah, that they get to stay overseas and utilize the education, but they can't use it, Dominica. Except if you're in the educational field where you can get a little salary increase based off of stuff. Or I think it may be in the bank. I don't know. Guys, do the banks give people raises when it comes down to if you does the bank give people raises if you increase your degree level? Let me know in the comment box below, guys.
You could have worked
I know the credit union doesn't do that at all. So
abroad. You could have stayed there. You could have decided to pursue money. But instead, your pursuit was patriotism. So you are home today, and we thank you.
I don't think that is why they came back. No, they came back because they couldn't stay up there. A lot of the things that people go to do, especially if it's not in STEM programs and this kind of things there, where you then have to come back to Dominica because no business want to hire you. You have to come back. It's not like they wanted to come back. You talk about patriotism. It's nice to say. And I know this from a number of laborites who went up and came back and they vexed that they come back. They're trying to do businesses here and there, trying to take over people's thing and all kind of thing. I know. But it's not like they wanted to come back. They just ended up in the wrong field and no businesses wanted to hire them, and as a result of that, the best businesses, the best majors you can go and do in the United States for you to end up staying up there is STEM programs. Science, technology, what is the E again? Maths, engineering and maths, EM. And then there's STEAM as well, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So accounting and this kind of things, that will help you. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
This is for you. This can destabilize your circumstance very quickly. Insurance, in some cases. All COVID-19 build generational wealth by the government.
They keep saying that over and over to play in your head. It's a psychological thing. They keep saying generational wealth. If you think, oh, that's a great thing. It's not. You don't be generational wealth from building a house for somebody who has to pay loan. That don't make no sense. You be generational wealth on the economy and the people's ability to then produce or meet the criteria of other individuals for which they want to do business with the individual. That then generates surplus because you are answering a question based off answering a question based off a problem, and you provide a solution. When you provide a solution, people then do business for you and your money grows, and then you start doing things in the place, establish different establishments all over the place, and as a result, money flows. You make these establishments create money that creates more money, and so forth and so forth. This is one of the reasons why Picard was one of the places that created generational wealth. Because people, their fathers or mothers set up their apartments and this kind of things. Their students were coming in, paying up, and loans, mortgages were paid off, apartments were paid off, and then the money from that created some sort of constant thing. But they killed that. So they pretty much killed the generational wealth in Picard. Yet still they're talking about generational wealth? Really? By building a house for people who have to take loan. You see why I keep saying that, so you can understand what I'm saying?
To give you a hand up, we will assume all the risk and costs associated with planning, as well as the initial construction cost.
So they have to build it. That's what I was saying. Not you have to build it. Not they giving you money and you build your house, No. You giving them the money or whatever that remains for you to give them, and they building it for you.
This will then be sold to you at a subsidized cost, lower than the development cost. So while there is partial recovery of cost, the true value for us is your empowerment.
There's no empowerment in that if you have to build house for people. I don't understand what kind of empowerment you're talking about. You have to build house for people and you call it empowerment. To me, empowerment is you providing the resources and then you giving the people the ability to use these resources and they build a house. I mean, to me, that is empowerment. Not true. I could be wrong.
First phase. Then we will move on to other parts in Dominica, likely.
So they want to do Warner and Cotton Hill. That's what the places that you're talking about.
Center Grand Bay and government engineering property
Maybe only want to hear where
in the first phase. Then we will move on to other parts in Dominica, likely Center Grand Bay and Hillsborough Gardens. You have seen the breathtaking views of Cotton Hill and Warner in the video presentations. This government wants the absolute best for you, so we have selected areas that are safe, accessible, with gentle slopes, soils with good engineering properties, accessible to all the utilities. We have
maybe they'll build pools. Maybe they'll build pools.
considered proximity to schools, shopping, work, recreation, dependable transportation services, and access to various amenities.
No, guys, like I said before, I'm talking all these things based on the people's ability to actually make this work on the basis of the economy. I'm saying this is a good thing. However, I don't think that the people will be able to put themselves in a level of debt, even though they're subsidizing the prices to bring it down for you. So that is a problem right there. Okay?
We have been working closely with the advisory group to receive feedback for the layouts of the land and the residential developments, not just in terms of their physical attributes, but considerations for management and upkeep.
Another problem, I also noticed what they're trying to do there. From the designs I saw, it looks like it's modernized houses. They are very easy to make. You just put blocks and things together. I suspect they were watching the engineering thing on Facebook, because that's what it looks like from one of the houses I saw that they actually have. I saw it on Facebook, on Instagram, sorry. I saw it on Instagram as well, the way that they designed the stuff. I don't know if it's resilient. They say it's resilient. The question is, what level of resilience? Is it resilient to rain? Is it resilient to a category 5 hurricane? Because to me, they didn't say anything like that. They say it's resilient houses. But if somebody tell you resilient, it could be resilient to rain, you know, guys. It could just be resilient for a number of years, wear and tear in the weather conditions. It could be that. But if there's some serious hurricane, you decale yourself, you never know. It could be resilient to hurricanes as well. Who knows? But the big question I want to ask, guys, is how exactly are people going to be paying this stuff back in an economy that is not doing well? This is one of the reasons why we think it's for the diaspora individuals to come in. Another CBI program itself. It's just that the CBI program is for Dominicans. And then again, if you understand how they build in the system from the designs I saw, I don't know if I can see there. From the designs I saw, guys, yep, look at there, guys. From the designs I saw, you see how they build it? It kind of builds like Texas area, but based on the type of economy that you're producing, these things is pretty much going to be building like a ghetto, guys. You know, New York is built with a lot of this. But let's hope they can upkeep these areas. Will there be upkeepment going on? Will they be hiring people to come and upkeep the area, just like Texas? I mean, you pretty much understand that in certain places they have upkeep and don't have upkeep. The places that don't have upkeep turns into ghetto. So they're building these houses for individuals to have like a community-like environment. But I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts?
In this transformational opportunity to build your empowerment and create generational wealth.
There's no generational wealth in this business at all. You build a house for people who have to pay it back. Hopefully they get to pay it back, and as a result of they paying back these houses at whatever, it seems like there's solar stuff on top of it. It looks like it's solar stuff on top of it. Guys, let me know your thoughts, man. Let me know your thoughts. These are just my thoughts. Like I said, it's my reaction. So let me know your thoughts in this regard as well. But there's something I must point out as well, guys. Is this everything right here? Somebody asked, why are we going to World Bank for loans while our monies are being used to build multiplex condos that are more expensive than our loans? which we have to pay back somebody explain that to me. How can we have billions and still be taking loans for millions? That don't make any sense right there. Which of course we see this thing. Anyways guys, let me know your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video.